test is next Friday. Test is next Friday.
Just before fall break.
It is the day before fall break. It is the day after parent-teacher conferences. If you know you're going to be out that day, I would highly recommend taking the test early rather than waiting for a whole week to go by for you to forget everything and come back and take it on the Monday after break. All right. Let's go ahead and get started on page 23. Me and my students, this is true from last year. Oh, yes, thank you. We decided to perform the caffeine experiment. You guys know what the caffeine experiment is? You're going to see if it increases your pulse rate.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Caffeine supposedly makes your heart beat faster. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to do an experiment. We did an experiment. 10 students volunteered and were randomly assigned to drink cola with caffeine, and the remaining 10 students were assigned to drink caffeine-free cola. Were their findings statistically significant? So this table down here shows the change in pulse rate for each student. So they did, before they drank the soda, they took their pulse rate and recorded it. And then after they'd had the caffeine in their system for like a good 20 minutes, they took their pulse rate again, which should have been faster, right? If caffeine really is the cause of a higher pulse rate. They did their final pulse rate minus their initial pulse rate. And so these are the pulse rate differences in the caffeine group. These are the pulse rate differences in the non-caffeine group. And then over here we have the mean change. What do I mean by mean change? The average change. So if you add up all 10 of these numbers and divide by 10, you get 3.2. If you add up all of these 10 numbers here and divide by 10, it gives you 2.0. What? I would like to have time. My plan was to do it on Friday, but now that we've had the fire drill, I don't know if I still can, but I'm still going to try. I'm going to try so that we can try to do this experiment this year. I make no promises, though. I make no promises.
Does everybody have to participate?
Huh?
Does everybody have to participate?
Everybody would have to participate.
I don't drink soda.
Could you drink this much soda?
I hate it. Like,
You couldn't even take one swallow of soda?
I guess. You could be out of the study. That just means more. Can I be like a control group? You know, it's like. We are the control group.
There we go. I was going to say, we do have a control group here. We have a no caffeine group. All right. Find the difference in mean pulse rates for the groups. What is the difference in mean pulse rates for these two groups? 1.2. Does your initial reaction lead you to believe that they found evidence that caffeine does or does not increase heart rate? Why?
The caffeine has a greater mean change than the no caffeine.
There we go.
The individual data, none of the caffeine went down.
Yeah, some of our no caffeine people, their pulse rate actually went down in this amount of time, represented by the negative numbers. Nobody in the caffeine group went down. So I could argue it either way. I've heard in the past students have argued this either way for a mean change of 1.2. They're like, yes, there is a change, there is a difference. But on the other hand, I've had students argue, they're like, but 1.2 beats isn't a lot. So I could argue this either way. So how do we decide if 1.2 beats is enough to say, yes, this is statistically significant, the caffeine caused the change, or no, that difference isn't big enough, I don't think the caffeine is causing this change. So two possible explanations for the difference in the mean pulse rate. What was the difference between the two groups? That was the mean difference, but what was the, yeah. So as we're thinking about what could explain the difference in mean pulse rate, this 1.2 difference between the two groups, there's two possible explanations. One is that the caffeine is the reason. The caffeine is the thing that caused this change. What's the other explanation? Everybody had the same amount. We could do a different experiment where we tested different amounts of soda.
What they did
Yeah, that the caffeine didn't cause the change, and that the change is just chance.
Yeah, chance, or like some people naturally have like heart rate problems.
Yep. So 2 explanations here for why there's a difference between these 2 groups. Caffeine either caused the difference or it was just a coincidence. We are going to assume the bottom one. We're going to be skeptics here. C-A-F-F-E-I-N-E. It violates the I before E except after C rule. You never heard that?
No, I don't. What?
I before E except after C.
That's like, that bothers me so much because weird also violates that.
Yeah, like there's a whole bunch of words that violate that
I
rule.
always spell weird R-I-E-D. R-I-E-R-D. And no, it's R-E-I-R-D.
W-E-I-R-D.
W-I-R-D.
It's W-E-I-R-D.
Weird?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
But
The E comes first on weird.
I always spell it W-I-E-R-D.
Yep.
Weird.
Almost. If the caffeine was not the thing making the difference between these 2 groups, if the caffeine was not the thing causing the difference between these groups, if it was just coincidence, then would it have mattered which group you were assigned to? No. You would have had the same change in pulse rate no matter which group you were placed in. So we're going to run a simulation. I've got index cards up here that I'm going to hand out to you guys. There's 20 index cards that represents the 20 students in this experiment. On each card, one of the 20 outcomes from this box is written on there. So something circled in dark blue or light blue here is written on those cards. Remember, if there was no difference, if caffeine was not the reason for the difference, it wouldn't matter which group they were assigned to. We would have the same change in their pulse rate no matter which group they were in. So you are going to take these 20 cards, shuffle them up, and deal them into 2 piles of 10 cards each. That's going to represent the randomly assigning of these 20 students to the 2 different groups. Assuming that the treatment received doesn't affect the change in the pulse rate, which again is our assumption. We're assuming that what we saw just happened by coincidence, that the change in the pulse rate would have been the same no matter which group they'd been placed in. The first pile of 10 cards represents the caffeine group, and the second pile of 10 cards represents the no caffeine group. So I'm going to give you these cards. You're going to mix them up, like turn them upside down and just mix them up on your desk. Separate them into 2 groups of 10. First pile, you're going to write down the numbers in the caffeine box across the top. Second pile, you're going to write down in the no caffeine group across the bottom. All right? Everybody understand what we're working on now? All right, I'm going to give you all cards. All right. Cards.
Wouldn't this also be human error? That because shuffling cards, depending on how they're shuffled.
I'm not sure what you mean by human error in that.
You know how whenever we chose the numbers in the Taylor Swift thing, and we talked about how humans are naturally gonna sense patterns? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that apply with like someone who doesn't want to shuffle like this?
No, just turn them upside down on your desk and mix them all up. We want to randomize this.
Oh.
You can try to shuffle them like that. There's nothing wrong with that, but we want to randomize them as much as possible. So how did I give you cards?
We talked about how devoted Miss Holt is to this class. This is a lot of work.
Like this role is like
The go.
you're right. All
right. Take the paperclip off the cards. Don't lose it. Turn them upside down. Mix them all up. You want to randomize this as much as possible. After you feel like you have sufficiently mixed them up and that they are in a very different order than when I handed them to you, then count them out into 2 piles of 10 cards each. Yes.
When a place of moves in the deck, like let's say a vaccine, they always say how it also has like an effectiveness.
How it also has an effectiveness?
Yeah.
Yes.
How does like a trick of the body?
Basically, yeah.
You trick your body thinking, oh, I got the vaccine.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
Yes, that is actually true.
Like with this one, could your heart rate increase because you think you have done caffeine?
Yeah.
Could it
If you have a belief that caffeine causes your heart rate to increase, you actually could see a measurable difference in your heart rate just based on your belief alone. Yes.
So how do you combat? The human brain is so cool.
Right? The way to combat that is that everybody, so like if we run this experiment in class, I'll buy the same kind of soda, one caffeine free and one not caffeine free. You won't know which one you get.
I feel like we could also do people who like don't drink Coke every day because you might taste the difference between caffeine free and the non-caffeine free.
So far, I haven't had anybody be able to taste the difference. Normally, between diet and regular, you can taste the difference, but the caffeine free and non-caffeine. Yeah.
I can actually taste the difference between Coke Zero and Zero.
So again, the Coke Zero though, that's a sugar-free one.
Oh.
It's not diet because they didn't use the same sweetener that they use in diet. They used a different sweetener. But those are both sugar-free options. The caffeine-free option has sugar in it. Yes, it just doesn't have the caffeine in it. All right. Mix up the cards. Gracie, I do need you to participate in this. Mix up the cards. Put them into 2 piles.
Diet Dr. Pepper is so nasty. Like, I'd rather throw up. And throwing up for sure.
Yes. When you get your 2 piles, the caffeine pile, you need to write down the numbers 1 per box. And the no caffeine pile, you need to write down the numbers 1 per box. It's the exact same 20 numbers that you had from before, but they are in a different order. This one fell on the floor, so just put it on the bottom. At least I think this one is yours. We'll find out.
Like, look at this one. It's 414541110.
That doesn't mean you're bad at shuffling. That's your random assignment.
Oh, I don't know what this is right to me. Because I have four fours. All the numbers are here.
Well, up here there's 1, 2, 3 4s. You have all the same numbers from up here.
Yeah, I'm saying like they're all in the same. Like all the fours are in here.
Oh, all the 4s ended up down here?
Yeah.
Interesting.
All 4.
All right. After you get your random assignment done and you've written down your numbers in all 20 of these boxes, put the cards back together, put the paper clip on them. All right. I want you guys now, I'll come around and pick up the cards in just a moment. Now that you have all 20 numbers written down, or you're getting those 20 numbers written down, I want you to calculate the average for the caffeine group. So add up the numbers in that row, divide by 10. Then calculate the average for the no caffeine group. You should have enough room off to the side over here to write your average down here and your average down here.
There's cherry Coke and Dr. Pepper. There's cherry Dr. Pepper. I can put in strawberry.
I put I put one of strawberry. Oh my god. And my Dr. Pepper. And I put vanilla syrup. Anyway,
Calculate your averages for your two groups, please.
I do. I like swig. Is it too good? No, I do like swig. I was actually gonna go today. I was calculating my driving. I have to go somewhere in Cardinals, but it's like Zionsville, like us.
Calculate the average for the caffeine group and the average for the no caffeine group.
I also need to go to Wawa. That's in Asbury. Wawa.
I have not. I've heard the ads and I've driven past it, but I haven't been in it yet.
It's like
Last thing I want to do. If you flip the page, now I want you to find the mean change. You already calculated the averages for each group. I want you now to do the mean change. So subtract, do caffeine minus no caffeine. And I want you to come and put a dot up here on the screen for whatever your mean change is. All right, get the dot plot copied into your notes. We are going to use this dot plot tomorrow to decide whether or not caffeine was the reason for this change. Sorry.
clearly I'm not. I have them. You can't be mine.
Thank you. Please get the dot plot copied into your notes to the best of your ability. We're going to use this dot plot right at the beginning of class tomorrow. We'll finish up this activity. Homework is due on Monday.